I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
Button Mappers, go!
It's me, Kate Sith.
Dime Puddles.
Welcome back to part 2. How do we follow up from the end of the first episode? Well, let's find out.
The catastrophic mess that is disc 2 and 3.
We're obviously, if you're hearing this, you probably, or hopefully, have listened to our disc 1 map out for Final Fantasy VII. It's in the videos below, so make sure you go check it out. It was a real doozy. Real long one. I don't know that... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, can we do a theatrical reenactment of disc 1, just in case people missed it?
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Okay. We need to assign roles.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Barrett.
Okay, so Teddy's Barrett.
Okay.
I guess I'll be Tifa.
Okay.
Who are you?
Well, you've already stolen the gem of my heart, so I'll be Cloud.
Okay.
All right.
Disc 1, here we go.
I'm at Midgar, and I'm helping Barrett and his Avalanche crew, but I don't really want to, because I'm too cool.
Cloud, is that you? Get your ass over here. Let's destroy the reactor.
Okay, we did it. Whatever. I don't care. I'm
Cloud.
too cool for this.
Cloud, help us out. You're my friend.
Whoa, you're hot. I'm going to help you out.
Marlene is my little girl.
Whoa, I found another girl. I got 2 girls at one time.
Dan, is that you? Kicks off a cliff.
Whoa, things move fast, but okay, let's keep going.
Cloud, the city burned down, but it's here. What happened?
I don't know. I'm tripping out.
Cloud, snap out of it. It's
I don't
just a
feel-
Firo.
Oh, I hate that guy. We got to find him. Let's keep looking around.
Cloud, did you touch my panties?
Yes. Next question.
I always warned you about that Cloud, Teef.
You have trouble. Stay away from me. I'm a bad guy. Eris, where are you going? You're dead.
We gotta fight. Oh no!
Quick, Cloud, let's dig out this joint. For Jesse and Owens.
Whoa, we went back in time. Okay, now we're back into the normal plot. Wow.
There we go. That was a recap.
And that's what happened in disc 1.
That's very good.
For more, go watch the disc 1 map out. That was somewhat of an inaccurate map out, but it's fine.
For more, please visit Final Fantasy VII featuring SpencerIsCloud.com.
Are we going to have to create a website for that?
Yes.
Okay. It may be a variant of that because anything like that is probably porn. All right, so let's get over to disc 2.
Woo!
It's much shorter.
And 3.
Disc 2, what's that?
And 3.
And 3, yeah.
Everyone's
3 is-
favorite disc.
And 3 is much shorter than 2. So this is going to be probably a quicker map out than the first one. But it's going to have a lot of our feelings in it. We're really going to pour out our feelings. So,
As some might say.
Open your hand.
so are you guys ready to map out disc 2 and 3 of Final Fantasy VII?
Yes.
In the words of Sonic.
Gotta go fast.
Icicle Inn! It's a place north of where we were before. It's cold.
Oh.
It's the snowboarding sequence.
Yeah,
No.
Icicle Inn is it's a cave to get there where you have to climb and do all these cool. It's not the worst mini game. It's not the best.
Mash your
it's a mini
buttons
game.
to stay warm.
Icicle Inn itself is the little town the ice town that they always have to have in these games. But I like it. It's cool enough. And then of course it caps it off with the aforementioned snowboard sequence. What do you guys think of Icicle Inn?
You know, I'll actually say it. Of all the mini games we've complained about so far, I think the snowboarding one was the least offensive.
And one of the most dragged out. It like
Yeah,
never
right.
ended.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have still taken the motorcycle segment over this, but it was okay. It did last forever.
It really didn't stop, did it?
It's a big mountain.
Kind of like my sync when we start a map out.
Yeah. The town is kind of cool. I mean, again, it's just like your typical snowy town. Although there is a really highly technical room in one of the houses, which is kind of neat. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty basic stuff. This, of course, is off the heels of running after Sephiroth, after he murdered Aerith. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
she's dead.
You're chasing him up the mountain, up to the Great Glacier. So, not a whole lot to say about Icicle Inn, I guess, except for really, it's just the snowboarding scene, isn't it? When
You know
really
what?
boil it
Get the
down.
snowboard from Grandpa because he's got to like relive his memories or something. Or I don't know. It's a very strange sequence. Like the Shinra soldiers start coming into town, or is it the Turks? I'm not really sure.
It's the Turks, right?
Yeah, I think it was the Turks.
They're
Okay.
chasing Seth. They're chasing Seppa Hyvarotha too.
Mm. And so then you're supposed to take the snowboard and go down the mountain and find him sooner. So yeah, great mini game. Not.
Teddy, do you know what Cloud would say about Icicle Inn?
I think he might shrug his shoulders. Say,
Icicle Inn leads to Great Glacier, which we have Gaia's Cliff and the Whirlwind Maze. Reminded me of Zelda, The Lost
Oh my
Woods, where
God.
you could not remember where you were and end up at the beginning, and just
This-
kind of like to play tricks on you. What do you guys think of this place?
This took me forever. I was just running around.
I remember I was like halfway up the mountain, and then I didn't understand how to build the temperature, so it was at like 26,
Oh shit!
and so I died. I had to restart.
Gotta mash that button, boy.
Yeah, this one has the body heat mini game.
You go from being a button mapper to a button masher.
Man, what a worthless mini game.
From a button masher to a button warmer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like in climbing that mountain, I always because like there was like other paths you could take that were the wrong paths, and I don't think I ever took a wrong path like going up that mountain. I was just like whoop doop doop doop. So I guess maybe I just got lucky, but I was just like what I was using.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it wasn't particularly difficult. This area was actually riddled with a bunch of like environmental hazards, because once you get to the Whirlwind Maze, you're timing your runs across these long stretches.
Oh, that was
Oh, yeah.
so dumb.
It was, yeah.
Every time that
I-
you screw it up, you have another battle with like the same creature, and it's like a dumb monster too. It's not even like a good
Yeah.
battle. I didn't understand the purpose.
You know, we never really covered it in the button mappers before, but this is one of those weird instances where like an RPG will try to be or use some things that would be more prevalent in like a platformer, and like just totally failing. It just feels so out of place, and
Are you saying that this game is Sonic?
basically, yeah. I mean, you got to go fast to get across the stretches.
Oh, hey, you're right.
He's also saying it was tacky, so
Yeah.
take that as
And
you
bad.
will.
Okay, are you saying this game is Bubsy?
No, I'm saying Sonic. I like the Sonic idea.
No,
Let's keep that.
my heart.
This is what happens when you open your heart.
Open your heart.
Your heart to get it stepped on by
Open
your own Sonic
heart.
comparison.
This has the important scene where you have to give the materia back to one of your fellow peoples because you're known to hand things over to people, specifically Sephiroth.
And you're going to the
So-
northern crater.
Cloud's an
Yeah.
addict.
Yes, he is.
Just take this from me.
Uh,
I don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah. And yeah, you end up at the northern crater. Again, a lot of story here, not a lot of gameplay going on. But you do see all of Sephiroth's little followers.
A lot of exposition here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's going to be the story of this.
Those guys are like cracking out on the mountain too. They're like keeling over and falling off the cliffs. I don't know if you guys like tried to do interactions with them, but like when you talk to them,
Yeah.
they'll just like either evaporate or like
Oh yeah.
die.
And this is where you find out that all the Sephiroths you've seen up to this point hasn't been Sephiroth.
Bad actor.
It's been it's okay. Let me see if I understand this. It's been projections of Genova. Is that right?
Beats me, man.
I believe because Sephiroth's like frozen because you find him and he's like frozen.
This is when the story becomes like a mind warp.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody who's listening is going to scold us and really give us a what for about what the story's about. I'm just going to tell you it's real goofy. Whatever it's about. It's real strange, and yeah, it's like Sephiroth isn't who you think he is, neither are you, which you're going to learn a little bit. But yeah, it becomes a whole thing where, and Cloud, of course, at the end of this is gonna be different for not a long portion of the game, but for a portion of the game. But of course he. Do you remember exactly how this went? Like he was like in the sky, and he was like he fell into the big crater, and fell into the life stream.
Yeah. Well, he gave him the thing first, right? He gave him the materia.
Yeah. So,
which awakened like the weapon and stuff.
Yeah.
Is this the part with the flashback that where Tifa goes in?
No, not yet.
Quite.
No, this is before that. This is where he gives the frozen Sephiroth the materia, and then like weapon arises and stuff like that, and then like he falls into the life stream.
Yeah. You're right.
And he gets pulled out, but we don't see that yet. Yeah, just a lot of story here. Not a lot to map out per se, but and that's what disc 2 really is just story dump. You could exposition dump if you want, but yeah, it's pretty much that.
And a lot of FMVs, man. Them FMVs.
What'd you guys think of the sequence where he gives the materia over? Like, what was going through your heads?
Man, Sephiroth ripped.
Oh, that's what you were focusing on. Okay.
Like some abs.
I mean, the guy has no shirt on, so I was like, damn, he's a ripped boy.
Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of eye rolling, I guess, to be honest.
Yeah, it felt like one of those generic story sequences. Like, oh yeah, of course he's gonna hand it over because he's not in control of himself.
Yeah.
Who did you guys give the materia to hold? Do you know?
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah, I actually did too.
Me too.
Hey, put your faith in the tiger. I don't think any of my other characters were taking it though. When I gave them the option, they said, "No, I can't handle that." Don't.
Well, I wasn't going to give it to Kate Sith. For obvious reasons.
Yeah. No telling what he might do if he gets cracked out. Remember, crack is whack, but Kate Sith might take it.
Kate Sith might do crack. I like that life lesson.
The robot cat among a giant Moogle might do crack.
Cat Sith, more like crack Sith.
All right. Well, speaking of crack,
Well, Cloud's fucking gone.
Cloud falls through one into the live stream.
He's gone. Yep. Woo. See you later, Cloud.
But if you think things are bad for Cloud, things are real bad for the rest of the gang.
No. What are the gang up to this time?
They get snatched up and taken on a big blimp, and Tifa is scheduled for execution.
Live execution.
Yeah.
Political message. Antifa.
It's about sending a message.
Yeah, and they say that the reason is because like meteors already headed towards the Earth, right? So like they say that it's like, oh, it gives blame it on them. We give people people reason to keep going or something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't understand the dragon thing, like the dragon arising from the mountain or whatever when
Weapon?
Cloud. Yeah, weapon. I was like, okay, I guess I see them trying to do boss battles or whatever. Like, I don't know.
It's because you're defending the planet, right?
Doesn't like Cloud fall in with the weapon monster? Doesn't he like become a part of weapon?
No, I don't think so. He falls into the live stream.
Yeah, he falls into live stream.
Okay, because I thought he became like part of the weapon monster. Maybe that was just my understanding of the scene.
No.
It wouldn't be out of place. It kind of would make sense because he falls in and then a big dragon comes out. You're just like, oh, it's Cloud.
But yeah, as soon as they go to strap Tifa in, Weapon does attack Junon.
Yeah, so it almost feels like it, huh?
Which is a very confusing moment because you have to like use Tifa to get a key off the ground and like use like her like different buttons for like her hands and arms and legs and stuff and like try to like get it up to your head and then like unlock the locks. And I was like, it took me forever to figure out how to do that.
It was not the best mini game.
That's the story of Final Fantasy VII.
Not the best mini game, but hey, whatever.
But hey, it's here. Input several different button combinations in different orders and try and figure it out for yourself. Meanwhile, pretend like there's a risk of you dying in this gas chamber.
This part is I died using Barrett and Kate Sith, who I have never given anything to, and it was super frustrating. And I stopped playing for like 5 days.
Oh yeah, because they can't get the door open, so they're like, "Come on, we'll go this way." And Barrett's like, "What?" And Kate's like, "Yeah, come on, we'll go this way."
Okay, get this. Okay, I did not know, and I should have because I played Final Fantasy IX, but I did not necessarily know what the reflect materia did, per se. I guess my understanding of it was not complete.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just give him this reflect materia. And so I was fighting some guys, and they're pretty tough if you haven't leveled up Kate Sith or anything. And it's just Barrett being your offense. And so they're beating him up, and I kept using Barrett to heal him. And so I was like curing Kate Sith, but it was bouncing off him and hitting the enemy. I did this like
discovered
3
that
times.
later. I discovered that later.
No.
That was such a poor game design.
It makes sense. Like I guess I get it, but reflect really it would shoot it back to the user, not the other team. So I don't know. I can see both sides of it, but it took me so long to figure out what the hell was going on. And at that point, I'm like, done for like 5 days. I'll just forget it. But yeah, this is a pretty cool scene. Also, a lot of cutscenes here, and yeah, Tifa makes it out. On the last podcast we did, the Final Fantasy VII for Disc 1, we talked about how Tifa was represented really well. And I was gonna say, I don't know, but this is the part where I was thinking in my head. She ends up on top of the blimp and has a fight.
It's a slap fight, man. That part had me laughing hard because it's just like her and one of the other Turks, and they're just like slapping the shit out of each other.
Yep, both females, and you know.
She of course knows martial arts.
Yeah, why is she
somersaults.
slapping her? Makes no sense.
Oh. One of the writers was having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, so it was like, oh, is she? She's a girl and she's a girl, so they slap each other, and it's like, what?
The goofiest thing.
Like, could you imagine like watching like an action movie like this, like giant monster rising from the sea, like heading towards like a big military base and stuff, and then like they're having like a big fight out above the water, and they're just slapping each other.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, it's weapon. That means slap fight.
Yeah. Stop hitting me! You stop hitting me! No, you stop hitting me!
Yeah. It was very childish. And I feel like set women back a while in video games. But that's okay, I guess.
Disc 2, they decreased the age of the writers. From
They're like,
15 to 12.
We need to finish this. I don't know. Give it to the interns.
They slap each other.
They're two hot chicks and you slap each other.
Oh yeah, they do what girls normally do, you know.
Yeah.
But after the slap fight, Tifa's cornered at the end of the gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "Oh no, where am I gonna go?" And they're like, "You have nowhere to go." And guess what?
She has somewhere to go.
That classic cliche.
Yeah.
Barrett and Kate Sith come up with a blimp.
Yeah, and they rescue her.
The high wind.
Saved by the robot.
And now you have a high wind.
Which used to be Sid's old ship. He's like, "Hey, this is my old ship. What's up?" Isn't that convenient?
Yeah. Is that it for Junon?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just kind of like a scene, really.
Yeah, there's a cool FMVs, but where they shoot the cannon at weapon, and they're like, "We killed it," and then like it's like, nah, not really.
We have now the final new town, which is Mideel. We didn't really talk about Wutai because it's more of a side quest kind of place, but Mideel would be the last real town you would visit.
Ooh,
And
Woo, tie.
Woo.
you find Cloud here, and he's in a wheelchair, which is, it's not comical that he is in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
It's comical that the goofy looking sprite is in a wheelchair.
Oh yeah, then his head's like bobbing up and down, like. So they were like, whenever he was in the live stream, right? They were like, he's been exposed to too much Mako, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. So he's like, "Oh, I'm all Mako'd out."
Cloud, thank you for your service.
This is how we treat our veterans?
Yeah. Well, he's got great care in the town of
Mideel.
Mideel.
This jungle-looking town.
Mideel.
What do you guys remember from Mideel?
Well, we go back to it later, right?
Yeah.
So.
Do you guys want to talk about that part? Because I think like that's when it really spices up.
We can do it. I was gonna stage it in the middle of the next section
Okay.
because that's where it technically happens. But if you want to tackle it just all of Mideel now, I'm totally cool with that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of awkward because like we have some stuff without Cloud, and then we go back here, and then we have stuff with Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a little jarring.
Okay.
I'm cool either way. You know me. I kind of almost prefer just doing one place at a time. But the counter to that is this is a very story-driven disc 2 and 3, so I could see it both ways. Okay, we'll cover it later. But Mideel, Cloud is sick. Tifa stays behind to help out Cloud, so my 1 and 2 are gone now. Thanks a lot, game.
Who are you gonna use now?
Who did you guys use?
Well, I think after this part, they force Sid to be the leader, right?
Yeah.
And then I just use Barrett and Red 13.
I think I had the same. Yeah.
So I switched out one blonde boy for another blonde boy.
Hey, Sid is a blonde man. Let's not
Whatever.
confuse this.
Yeah, no, you're right. He has a cigarette and everything.
Dude, Sid is like the most overpowered character in the game that I could see. I'm
I
shocked
got
I
him
never bothered to
like
use him.
99 health, like real quick towards the end.
Oh yeah, his spear is really strong too.
Dude, he's freaking... We'll talk about that when we get there, but... Yeah, he's a freaking beast.
So
I'm shocked I didn't bother to keep him.
It's funny you mentioned Zelda earlier in the little puzzle area and the snow area, because this part of the game also reminds me of Zelda. How like near the end of most Zelda games, they give you like a little like go find the 3 MacGuffins side quest, and that's kind of the side quest we're sitting on now. Is like go find the 3 materias.
Yeah.
With the blimp.
It is.
Take the blimp and go explore the overworld. This is
Yeah.
when the overworld exploration gets bad. When you have to use that puddle of a map.
No, I think this is when it gets good though, because you could fly over everything, so it's easier to navigate.
It's easier to navigate, yeah.
It's
But
just
the map, it really emphasizes how bad the map is.
Yeah, it's hard to distinguish stuff. I hadn't used the map up to that point, so trying to figure out how to use it now was awful.
Man, something that they'll learn in later games. Put some damn landmarks out there.
Or just put names on the map. That's what I had to do. I had to go on my phone and just look up a labeled map.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because like there's dots on the map, but I can't, but nothing's labeled. So I'm like, oh, that's a dot. What's that? So I had to just look it up and be like, oh, okay, that's this town. That's that town.
Yeah. Yeah. It was horrendous.
I remember trying to do it without the walkthrough, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I'm just going in circles, like, trying to find stuff. And so eventually I did figure out how to use the map a little better, but it took a while.
So we had to go to 3 reactors and get some huge materias.
And we'll start with the first 2.
What's the first one?
The first 2 are interchangeable. You got Mount Coral or Fort Condor. Let's do Mount Coral first.
For obvious reasons.
It was awesome.
Mount Coral, yeah, this was like surprisingly really engaging.
Yeah.
There's like they're like taking the material out of the reactor via train. So you have to do like almost like an Indiana Jones style, like get on the train, like take a cart, get on the train, and have to like stop it and stuff. And it was, I don't know, it just felt really cinematic.
They also give purpose to that reactor that had no purpose early in the game, that you just literally walk by in Coral.
They gave it some purpose because we knew that it was a thing for for Barrett's backstory, but that was it.
Yeah, and then this makes Barrett's whole thing come full circle.
Yeah, he saves the town.
Saves the town.
You did it, Barrett.
Gets some huge material for it.
This is also, I think, one of the most inoffensive mini games. We have to get to catch the train by pumping the little things back and forth, on the cart, and then you have to do the same thing to stop the train. Before it hits Coral.
It actually felt like a Mario Party kind of thing, too.
Yeah,
It
was
did
really fun.
pretty well. It's like press up on one side and down on the other, and then opposite. It was like you felt like a real train conductor.
Yeah, that and there was a timer as you jump train car to train car. So like I said, it did feel cinematic.
Yeah, little mini boss battles at each car, too.
Yeah.
Dude, there was a boss fight in there that gave 40,000 or some ridiculous amount of experience on that train. It was easy too. It was like, wait, all my characters just leveled up. I'm like, wait, what? It felt like just a regular mob, but no, it was crazy. But that gets you your huge materia. So let's go from one of the best side missions to maybe one of the worst in Final Fantasy history.
We must take the ring to Condor.
Fort Condor.
I'm glad we didn't talk about this town in Disc 1 because I skipped it in Disc 1. I know I saw it, but it was I didn't need to go there, so I was like, I won't go here. And then you had to come back, and I was like, oh, okay, I get to finally see what this place is. And it's like, help us protect the fort by putting down Sega 32X sprites. Making them fight each other.
Man.
It's like
Goodness for 3x speed on the Switch.
Oh my god, it's trying to be It even then it's slow. It's trying to be like a RTS, but fucking Christ, it's not good.
Whew.
Can I tell you guys a trick, or you want to discourse on it first?
Is the trick to skip it and just fight?
Yeah. You don't even have to do the battle. You can just let the guys charge up to the front and then have the boss battle. Yeah.
Aww.
I didn't realize that either. I had to read the walkthrough for that, but I had the displeasure of actually trying to play it as a mini game, experiencing the beginning of the game. I was like, oh nope, not again.
I played it early in the game, and then they told me that afterwards you fight something, and in my head I'm like, oh, you can skip all that, and then I went to this one and did it again for some unknown reason. I just completely forgot. There's not many. Well, there are plenty of places, but this is maybe the highlight of a game showing its age. Boy, the mechanics were sluggish. The visuals were sluggish. It looked like absolute garbage.
No, come on, Spencer. This was prime. I think you're just not seeing the
genius.
The genius here. You know, it's slow triangles fighting other slow triangles. What is there not to love?
I'm pretty sure the part with the triangles.
Yeah, the part where you said triangles. This was horrible.
Which triangle do you want to pick? This triangle that throws the fireball, the triangle that shoots the fireball, the triangle that fixes the fireball thrower.
What a travesty!
I just placed like 1,000 catapults everywhere. That's like how I did this part. It was a catapult.
And I love tower defenses, but maybe that's even hurting it because this was just would be the worst tower defense you could ever make. It's just awful. I love the idea that the huge materia is an egg, though.
Yeah, that was cool, and that was a cool little FMV.
Yeah.
Caw, caw. That was my condor.
Oh, I thought you were a pumpkin.
How did you know? I was a pumpkin condor. Flight of the Condors.
All right. Well, speaking of pumpkins, you guys ready to head back to Midial? There was no transition there.
Yes. Now we can go back to Midial.
This
Midial.
one, once you go back to Midial, you might be smashing pumpkins. With how crazy it is. It is literally
crazy.
The definition of a smashed pumpkin.
This also has one of my favorite FMVs.
Okay.
Do you know which one that is?
Oh yeah, I do. I know which one. I have a favorite part leading up to that.
Okay.
You go back to Midial to find Tifa and Cloud there, and Tifa's going to explore Cloud's brain.
Hold on. Before that happens, weapon attacks.
Oh, go ahead. What's that?
Weapon attacks, right? Before that happens?
Is it first or after? I can't remember. Let's take a look.
I think weapon attacks.
Oh, your
first.
weapon happens first. Yeah.
Yeah, weapon. Yeah, because weapon attacks, and you do a little boss fight, and then the island starts to like break apart, and there's this amazing cutscene where Tifa's pushing Cloud in a wheelchair, like away from the fucking destroyed ground, and that's when they go into the live stream.
Yeah.
You know what I love about that sequence?
Everything.
It's the best.
Okay, so you defeat weapon or whatever weapon it is you're fighting. I wasn't really clear what weapon am I fighting. Is this the weapon or is this a weapon?
You just survive. You don't beat it.
Right. Yeah. Because he just kind of goes away. So then there's like an earthquake in this town, right? And you go to rescue Cloud. You go into the house, and when you go in the house, there's a doctor just standing there, and you talk to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you might want to move Cloud." And then the second you come into the house with Cloud, it goes into that crazy FMV where like the house that doctor was just in falls into the live stream.
He's gone. See you, doctor.
It's like, okay, I didn't know people just resume daily operations in a situation like this. But good on him.
This is kind of off subject, but have you guys ever watched Star Wars Rogue One?
Yeah.
There's a character that they go to who's like on this like rock planet. That's like, I don't know. He like helped. I forget what the story was. He like helped one of the main characters before, and they like went to help him out and stuff. And the planet's being destroyed, and they're like, "Come on, get on the ship!" And he's like, "Go on without me. My time has come." And then like he just dies, and there's absolutely no reason for him not to leave. That's exactly what that reminded me of. There's no reason for him not to get out of there.
Yeah.
I totally remember.
He's like, I'm going down with my hospital.
Medieval
I
doctor,
totally remember that.
the true underdog of the game.
Also a complete side thing, but I got yelled at when I was playing D&D with a group of people. Because the DM had an earthquake happen and we had to ask the mayor what to do about it while the earthquake was happening. and he said, like, he's like, okay, you guys better go to the mayor's house to solve this. And so I'm like, okay, and I'm like stumbling over, and then we're talking to the mayor, and then he's like, well, it's what's probably causing these earthquakes are a bunch of these monsters in a local cave. And I was like, don't you mean whoa? And then they yelled at me. I was D&D disappointed.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, I totally get where you're coming from, Teddy. This is absolutely ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, let's learn about Cloud.
Oh Lord. Okay, so Tifa and Cloud go into the live stream.
You're playing as Tifa, and you learn all about Cloud's past by walking into
Dark
different
past.
sections. Right, dark past.
Dark past.
That's got to be a soundbite, by the way. I would assume.
Yeah.
Somebody? Okay. So, yeah, you're Tifa, and you're walking around exploring Cloud's
Dark past.
Yeah, thank you. And you learn about his
Dark
not
past.
being, yes, thank you, Teddy. About him not being in Soldier. He's just a regular guy. He's a liar, I guess. No, it's the Mako. The Mako made him lie. And he's just a regular guy that did end up killing Sephiroth, killing in quotes. And he's remembering things as if he were Zack.
What? Remember him from was
Zack
it
and Cody?
Boogid? What? No, it was
Quest for Disney?
no, it was
Gulgaga.
Gungaga.
Gungaga.
Gungaga. The parents, those two people were like, our son Zack, and then that's him.
There he is.
So yes, Cloud was technically there whenever all that shit went down, but he was just a normal soldier. Well, not in soldier, but he was just a normal like troop. So he had like a little mask and everything on. Because Tifa was like, Cloud, you weren't there, and he was like, yes, I was.
It was really confusing up to this point. Maybe just the way it was rolled out. And it doesn't help that Zack is like a lookalike Cloud with dyed hair.
Yeah.
But I get it now. I think it makes more sense just discussing it. That I don't even remember. It's really hard to articulate this stuff.
They kind of alluded to it in a weird way. Like, remember at the beginning, towards the beginning, when you first get the Junon and you put on the Shinra, or not the the outfit.
Yeah, the little outfit.
He's like, you look real good in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I'm not super thrilled by the plot twist. Like, I'm not really blown away.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense within the context of just this one game, because it's like, because they're like trying to explain it, like, oh no, he you thought you were in his shoes, but you were watching the whole time from the, but like, it sort of makes sense whenever you like they had to like. That's the reason. I honestly think that's the reason why they made Crisis Core, was to just explain this fucking plot twist.
You don't think it was to make money off of the Final Fantasy VII?
That also, because it's Square Enix and they're like, oh, there's a plot hole. Spin-off game, baby. So
what's the generic RPG trope, Spencer? Maybe you know this a little better, where like the character just forgets their past or like everything.
Yeah, that's not even
amnesia?
That's not
some
just
amnesia,
RPG.
right? This is like the amnesia arc, like where the amnesia arc starts to make sense. But it was just so messed up at this, like up to this point, because you've already been back to Nibelheim several times, and like something different has happened. So in my mind, I was wrestling with the reality of like, oh, did Cloud burn Nibelheim, and that's why he can't remember it? Is he traumatized? But no, it was actually Zack, and then he wasn't there. But no, he was. What?
Yeah. So basically, everything that he said did happen. It's just he wasn't wearing a badge that said he was in Soldier.
Yeah, and then when he went back to that town the second time and it wasn't burned down, those were a bunch of actors that Shinra paid to cover up what happened.
Cue Billy Joel. Bad actor. Bad actor.
But no, that like amnesia arc is like not just like an RPG thing. It's like it's like an anime thing. It's like a Japanese like stereotype for like those types of stories.
Although I guess the twist is it's an amnesia arc, and you didn't know he had amnesia.
Yeah.
So he can finally stop touching his head.
Yeah.
Ah!
Except for every single moment of that.
It's even more like noticeable in the remake too, because the Cloud,
yeah.
like somebody sneezes, somebody's like like Barrett's like achoo, and Cloud's like ah! It just like triggers like
My dark past.
somebody sneezed in Nibelheim. I remember that.
Oh no! I'm relapsing.
Because here's my issue with this with this part of the story is that Cloud explained all this stuff in Calm, which is cool, but Tifa knew that Cloud wasn't the one that was there, and she did not mention that at all. That's my only issue. What was stopping her this entire game, like during that part in Calm, when Cloud was like, "Oh yeah, that me and Tifa and blah blah blah." Like, what was like stopping Tifa from being like, "Cloud, that wasn't you."
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Her memories weren't changed.
Isn't it a term when somebody says they were in the military but they weren't? It's like stolen glory or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Is Cloud technically guilty of stolen glory?
I mean, he was a Shinra troop, I guess. So there's that.
But he wasn't a soldier.
No, he wasn't a soldier. I just don't understand what was stopping Tifa the entire game from being like, "Oh no, you weren't there, man."
Yeah. It's like, hey, I was there. You weren't. You didn't do that.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
What a mess. But then the three head-throbbing clouds converge and become...
One head-throbbing Cloud. No, just kidding. No.
yeah, and you go from vegetative to normal again.
And then they fly out of the live stream. They're just like, let's leave. Okay.
Bye.
Cloud unlocks floating limit.
How did that work?
It's like your parents say, 1 minute you're in the live stream and the next you're in high wind. So there you go.
Oh yeah, I remember that. They used to tell me that all the time.
So you're back in the high wind. So now back to the underwater reactor.
Cloud's back.
Yeah, guess who's back? Back again.
Yeah, we gotta find the third huge materia in the underwater reactor in Junin.
Tell a friend.
I was confused on where to go.
No, so this has it's fun to visit Junon again, but really why you're here is the submarine battle.
And Rufus.
That's right.
It is nice to kind of like dig into the military base of Junin a little more. You get like a deeper sense of it. It was a little confusing where to go though. I remember having to kind of browse through it, but I found a shop there that I hadn't found earlier, where there's like an old man standing outside and you can talk to him. You can be like, "Oh yeah, come in," and he's got like HP plus materia and also MP plus, and I thought that was like such a lifesaver later on when I just stocked up on this.
For sure.
I got so confused because there's like this one guy that you talked to, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's an underground tunnel." Where? So I was like, okay, don't need to go back to like that part with the dolphin. No, and I even went upstairs and I was like, talked to the little girl, Priscilla, whatever her name was, and she was like, "Cloud, oh, it's you. I heard you fell into the live stream. Be careful, you're gonna marry me." And I was like, "How did you know I fell into the live stream?" It's like that, like just was quick. Yeah, that just happened. So then I was like, okay, so where do I need to go? So I got up to Junin, and then I was like running around, and I was like, okay, maybe I need to go up to like the military streets area. So I went up there. I was like running around like the airport, and I ran all the way down the street, and I ran back, and finally I found like the area with like the little troop of soldiers, and they're doing little things with their guns and stuff, and they're like, to the underground the underwater base, and I was like, oh, this way.
Yeah. Let's tackle the submarine battle.
Ooh, this one was actually tricky from what I remember.
I hated this.
You had to fight one of the Turks, and he's like, "I'm actually going to send my robot." Right? And then there's the robot has like several parts. It has the swinging arms, and the swinging arms can can pick one of your teammates up and disable them.
He picked up Barrett and never let go. So the whole battle, Barrett was like, "Oh!"
This one was a nuisance, but I did bust out the grinding here, and it helped.
So
There's some good areas for it.
You beat the thing, and Barrett's like, "It was a distraction the whole time."
They're getting away.
So you steal a submarine, and you play my favorite Star Fox 64 level.
Boy, did not age well. Say that.
Oof. Yeah, you get the submarine, and it was all downhill from there.
After I figured out how to move, I beat this part in like super fast.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, okay, where's the red? Okay, there we go. Blop, blop, kill him. And I was like, oh, well, that was easy.
Yeah,
It was
no, I
just
did this
trying to-
one in 10 seconds, but...
It was just trying to figure out the controls at first because they don't really explain it that well. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. Failed minigame. I'm just glad they had a huge time counter.
Yeah. Why do a mini game if the whole point is to beat it? Like if the purpose of the mini game is just to take time for you to inevitably beat the game.
I think the thing is they're like trying to like blend all of these different things in the game, such as FMV, minigame, random battle, storyline, adventure.
And I think the mini games, I think to us, we view them as mini games as we know it. I don't know if like those like was Mario Party a thing at this point? I don't remember. But like to them,
think it was yet.
I think these. So at the time, there wouldn't have been mini games. You know, there would have just been like little parts in the
QTEs.
game. Yeah. But well, that wasn't your thing either. Shenmue started that. So I think this was their way of trying to make the game bigger than it is. You know. To try to give it more, it's like whenever you're playing like a modern, Final Fantasy 15 or whatever, and there's a section where you drive the car and stuff. I guess that's like their attempt to to do something like that to be a little more immersive.
It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, but it ages poorly.
You might say this one actually submerges you.
Oh.
Because you have to, reduce your standards to play 'em.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Speaking of, some people submerge, other people emerge
You got a
from the atmosphere.
You got a
Other
submarine.
people 3 merge.
Well, I just wanted to say you have a submarine now.
Oh yeah, you have a submarine. Congratulations.
My favorite aircraft.
But yeah, some people emerge, aka Rocket Town.
Yeah, the Shinra takes the huge materia to Rocket Town.
Rocket Town.
Go in there again. I wonder if we'll have any important plot relevance to Sid's story here.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, this is the last piece of huge materia.
Yeah.
You fly up. Well, you travel up on a rocket. You do fight Rude in this one.
How rude.
And you are in the rocket ship shooting into space.
I felt like this should have been where Sid died.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's like,
Because
"I'm going
that's how they were setting it up, right? At first, they were like, the autopilot doesn't work, so I'm gonna fly the ship into because they're launching the ship into meteor to try to stop it. So. Yeah, so that was like Sid's motivation for staying on the ship, and then like the ship launches, but then like they're like, oh, autopilot works. Oh, let's just get in the thing, the escape pod. Okay.
Yeah, I think halfway through they realized that you needed him for the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I just think as a good like story moment, this would have been a good point where like Sid would have like helped like maybe sacrifice himself. And I think maybe the reason they didn't do it is because ultimately launching the ship at Meteor does nothing.
Yeah. Makes it look a lot cooler.
Yes, but I still think this could have been a good story moment for Sid. I mean, it is because he's like, I'm finally in space. I live my dream. But like, I think that's where he should have died.
This one has a dumb QTE. I'll tell you that much. Oh, predict the button combination so you can get the special materia.
I failed.
Same. I reset and start over and just looked it up.
10 seconds in, I looked it up, or with 10 seconds to go, because they
I
were
didn't even
giving
do
you
it.
dumb
I
hints.
just-
Oh, I don't think X is the second, fourth, combination. Oh, maybe it's not B for the first one.
I just skipped. Like I failed it and I just left without doing it.
Yeah, I don't even remember what you got for it.
The materia. The huge
Which-
materia.
What
Yeah,
kind of-
that's why you were doing it.
Oh, it was the materia. I thought it was just like a personal materia. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was the huge materia.
Yeah, it was stupid. I admit.
Rocket.
You do return back to Cosmo Canyon after this, so we can hold on to the materia.
Bugenhagen.
Guggenheim.
All right. Bugenhagen is now on board with you
Yeah, he's like, I'm old, but I like the old places too.
because he wants to go to the Forgotten City.
And you need a
Before
key.
he can go there, you have to get the key.
Oh
Which is
yeah.
underwater.
Right. That's what this game's all about. The lost key.
I do want to talk about traveling underwater real quick. I know you didn't, Alex, but Teddy, did you play Dragon Quest VI?
Not more than an hour.
Is it the one that comes after 5?
Yeah, it's right after that one.
Okay.
Like immediately.
Then no.
Dragon Quest VI had an underwater traveling system in it as well, and I loved it. It was like another level of immersion to the world, and like you could go in and then you'd pop up and you'd be in like a place you couldn't visit before. Really cool stuff. I don't want to say that wasn't the case for me playing this game because I didn't really give it as much time. I don't think. But what did you guys think of traveling underwater? Did that add a new dimension?
Yeah, the dimension of suck.
I can't. I'm gonna throw it out of here, guys, and I don't want to say that I failed the map out because I'm not done with the game. I was literally playing this part yesterday. I didn't. This is where I'm at currently, and I could not find the key. So, there you go.
So you're really trying to say
I'm gonna finish the game. I didn't fail the map out. I'm gonna finish the game.
Okay.
It's just it was time to do the map out, and I was like, okay, we're doing the map out.
Yeah.
Terry, I want you to flag this.
Don't look. We are like almost. We are 50. We're like 51 minutes into this episode, and I'm just now like failing the. Like we have like 4 parts left.
Right. So timestamp.
Yeah, timestamp. Whatever time this is. I don't know, maybe like flashing lights or something. Let me check actually.
So
To be
unlike
fair-
here's the thing.
Yeah,
Unlike
I would say about 15 minutes in. Terry, why don't you flag that and refer to it when you say what you're going to say.
here's the thing.
certain
Unlike I want to give myself a chance here. Okay, let me explain. Unlike Pokemon,
You're talking to Terry, right?
Yes, Pokemon. Okay. I just stopped playing because I just lost interest. I did not lose interest in this game, and I'm still playing it. Like I said, I was playing it yesterday. I think that's the big takeaway here is that I'm still gonna finish it, and I'm gonna ask you guys questions. The last 4 parts we have.
All right.
All right, Terry. If you have questions, Terry, go ahead and ask them. Remember, it's 50-minute mark.
But here's the
check
thing.
that.
By the time this goes up, I may have already finished it.
Yeah, but probably not, Terry. So why don't you go ahead and put
Okay,
that-
probably not, but
Put a-
I'm gonna finish it. I'm like right at the end. I'm not getting this far then quitting. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not Spencer. I don't play 60 hours a day.
All right. So 52-minute mark. Alex fails the map out.
I didn't fail the map out.
That's 2. That's 2 RPGs there. To be fair, though, I was going to stand up for you and say with Pokemon, I mean, A, you finished the game before, but B, you copped out at Vermilion. Like, fucking.
I tried, guys. I
towns
played
into the game. But this one you did make. It's a long game. Like, I mean, I think you did the long haul, so I'll give you credit there.
Yeah, I'm a busy man.
I don't have time for these Final Fantasies.
But I'm gonna. So you know what? Just to give the listeners some reassurance, whenever I do finish this here soon, I in the comments I will place the rest of my thoughts for the rest of the game.
Wow, Alex essay, nice. That'll be cool.
I'll do it. But
Okay, so stay tuned for
Spell
that.
check on for that. All right, so back to the Forgotten City with Bugenhagen.
Oh yeah, you get the key.
Yeah.
See, there's like a little tunnel in one of the sections, Alex, just for future reference.
You're gonna need that when you finish the game, Alex.
Yeah, you'll need the key. The key to my heart.
I'll have to look it up where it is.
Yeah, there's only so many places you can go in the submarine, so just about my thoughts about that sequence. I mean, I guess I was appreciative that there weren't random battles, if I remember that correctly.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah,
There's
so
that
that
giant thing underwater you can run into.
Yeah, there's actually a whole section of the game with a sub quest you could do. Get it? A sub quest because you use the sub. So,
Okay, map out canceled.
Subway. Thanks to our sponsor today.
It's Quiznos. Quiznos. Come on in to Quiznos, I guess.
Stay tuned for the end of map out quiz show. So, yeah, you get the key, you come back up. It was dumb. I didn't like the subsection. It was a poor mode of transportation. I like the one in Pokemon Gen 3 better than this. You know, where you just dive and you go underwater.
Yes.
Called out.
Yeah. So take that, 7.
Pokemon Gen 3 map out coming in 5 years.
Or next month. I don't know.
It's coming right before the Dirge of Cerberus.
Right.
map out.
Right after the Terratus Cerberus map out.
Hey, I'm ready for gold and silver whenever, but yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So submarines.
Fun fact: Alex actually stopped playing Dirge of Cerberus at the submarine section too. I don't know if you knew
There's
that.
a submarine section.
You know that if you played the whole way.
That game sucks.
No, I'm totally making that up. I have no idea. Anyway, so you end up in the Forgotten City. You have the key of the ancients now. You get to go underneath and get some more little cutscenes. And Rufus, Scarlet, and Heidegger are back in Midgar, and they're pointing the Sister Ray
Ho!
You know
at
what
the
was,
diamond weapon.
was really
who's
dumb
approaching
here?
Midgar now.
What's up? There's something really dumb here. You can get a key to go back into Midgar, you know, with the locked gate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that you need it because I wasn't really following the walkthrough. I was just using it when I needed it. And so I went back to this town where it was the sequence where you have to dig for things. And one of the items you can dig for is the key to Midgar in this random ass town.
Right.
And so I did that, and I got the key because I knew I had to go back to Midgar. And so I got the key, and I went back to Midgar. I was like, nothing's happening. This is weird. And I thought I was saving myself some trouble, but then when you're going back to Midgar, and this new weapon is slowly walking across the ocean towards Midgar. I took the blimp, and all you had to do was hover over Midgar. You don't even have to go in through the front gate.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Waste of time.
What a waste. And why is the key in that random town? I don't understand. Oops, just lost the key to Midgar.
Lots of questions. But yeah, it's now walking towards Midgar. They're shooting cannons at it. And I actually really like that there's a fight that is like a massive fight that's triggered on the open world map. It's kind of cool. It's unique, I guess. But pretty cool, I guess. Weapon is a big Final Fantasy looking boss.
It was a very Godzilla-esque sequence because he's approaching the shore. I'm sorry you didn't get to experience that, Alex.
I will get to experience it though. That's the magical thing about this process.
Magic.
See,
Final
this is all building anticipation for myself because I love Godzilla.
It's the Mako.
It's the Fort Condor of open world boss battles.
No.
It's not that bad. It was a cool battle too. He's a big boss. Big boss.
Big booty boss.
He's got a big booty.
Yeah.
And he'll battle you. And right in front of Midgar, you kind of save Midgar in the process. It was good.
Which leads into revisiting Midgar, as you said, and stopping Hojo from using the Sister Ray cannon.
Right, so you got to use the sewers to kind of get back to the Shinra people.
Yeah.
The Shinranese.
I loved revisiting Midgar and kind of seeing a different side of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you don't go through like the main towns or, all of that, and there's some tension there, and this is where the game starts picking up in difficulty too.
Yeah. Oh, it ratchets up like crazy. Really cool stuff. Fighting Hojo as he's kind of turning himself into a different Hojo, a better Hojo, a stronger Hojo.
Does he have that tan though, from the beach area?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's very green, some might say. But before you even do that, there's several boss sequences too with a bunch of these Turks. You fight the Turk cronies. They're really challenging, and they don't necessarily have a health
when you
meter.
fight all three of them at once?
Yeah.
Dude, I almost died.
I died several times. And that's
dang.
where I learned the stupid reflect thing, where it's like if you try and heal your party member, they have reflect on.
I guess I'm glad I learned it earlier because that would have been really frustrating to lose it there.
I figured it out, but stupid. And then another one of the guys, their whole setup is awful because then they start spamming things like confusion, and another one of them has like great healing capabilities, and they do massive damage too. So like I wasn't so leveled up at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's another battle with I think like Rufus and the slap fight girl.
Slap fight. Slap fight's an actual game too, so that makes me laugh.
It's also a micro game in Final Fantasy VII. Did you know?
Is this okay? So answer me this: is this the end of Shinra?
It's the end of Shinra as we know it.
REM right here.
I hesitate to answer that. I don't know. I feel like they're always coming back. Those Turks survived, a few of them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But Hojo, you learn the secret of Hojo. And Spencer,
Jojo.
Spencer, what is the secret of Hojo?
He's Sephiroth's dad.
I knew that.
Dun, because you played of Cerberus.
No, that follows Vincent Valentine. It's a totally different game. No, just because I still know Final Fantasy VII lore, and I've seen like I've played the other spin-off games and seen Crisis. No, not Crisis Core. The fuck's this movie called? Damn it! Advent Children and stuff. So I know 7 lore.
Quest of Zack and Cody, right?
Yes.
Hojo's the father of Sephiroth. I guess. How did you react to that, Spence?
Oh my god!
It all makes sense now.
I just want to edit an episode of Jerry Springer. You are the father.
I know.
He's like, I didn't care about that piece of shit.
Oh!
Throw him to the labs.
Jerry.
And he's just kind of surprised that you are the one, the Cloud was the one that made it.
Yeah. Oh, he's like,
Obviously,
my
sees
failed
Cloud as a
creation.
Yeah.
Didn't expect to see you again. But meanwhile, he was projecting all the hologram Sephiroths throughout the game. As far as I understood it.
Could have. Yeah. It's kind of beyond me. My brain doesn't work.
I thought that was
On that many
Genova. I thought Genova was. Oh, whatever.
Well, I think he was manipulating some of them, so I think there might have been some mix and match. I didn't fully
Okay.
understand it because Final Fantasy, but you know.
Yeah. Don't yell at us.
It's
nerds.
a family reunion.
We're trying our best here.
So the moral of Final Fantasy VII is always remember your family.
It's about family.
It's about family.
in the live stream.
Carrie Fisher once said about Star Wars, yeah.
And finding yourself deep in the live stream.
All right, so with Hojo down,
And don't kick your best friend off a cliff. Twice.
He's fine.
Okay. Yeah, he'll be back in the sequel. So maybe.
7-2.
17.
Hojo's out, and there's only one thing left to do.
Put in disc 3.
Sephiroth Hiawatha.
The Final Fantasy.
We're gonna head to the northern cave.
Finally. So many times I
Northern-
tried flying into that section. And you know what happens? It just rebounds you. Like, oof, I'm sorry, I couldn't get there.
Something's blocking it.
The force field's
Trigger in the
not
game. Triggering the code. This is the last dungeon of the game. It's not really that hard of a dungeon.
Yeah, I expect it to be a little bigger. A little deeper.
Me too.
I think it's cool though. There's like 2 ways you can go. There's some painful enemy units you can fight up to this point.
Are you talking about that insta kill with the guy with like 60,000 HP?
That bastard. He doesn't even give you that much experience when you kill him.
What is that? Who designed that?
Awful. He's like this little Grim Reaper looking creature. Alex, you can give us a full essay on that when you get to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what a pain, because, and another thing, to save at this place, you either have to go all the way back to the airship, or you get one item that lets you drop a save point wherever.
Mm-hmm.
I just dropped it like somewhere along the split paths, because you get an option to either go down or to the right. And so I had dropped it like a few screens before the final sequence.
Yeah.
And so every time I wanted to get to that final sequence, I'd have to keep encountering or praying that I would not encounter these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Those were a pain, but there were some other interesting ones too.
Do you know how I beat those guys?
What did you do?
I used bio to poison them, and then I just maxed the speed on it and just revived when I needed to.
I had an item
it's not
that
great,
prevented insta-kill, so I kept it on my guy with revive. And I also had a summons for Phoenix on Cloud. So...
You guys just said Bio and Phoenix in the same
Wow.
conversation.
That's the subtle shout out to the Bio Phoenix. Look at that.
Look at that.
Bio Phoenix now a summon in Final Fantasy VII. He's DLC.
Look at that. It helps to have Alex not finish the game and just listen to our conversation.
Just connect the PS1 live.
It all makes sense.
But yeah, other than that weird misstep of a character, there were a couple other characters that had insta kill, but it wasn't as bad.
Nah. Yeah.
They went down after 3 hits anyway.
Yeah. There were some enemies that used like sadness or something or fury on you, and I learned that it like affected your ability to pick moves or something. I don't know. It didn't really make sense to me, but there is a cool little jar creature, a jar of tea, and it when you kill him, it gives you a bunch of AP, which I started realizing at this point in the game levels up your materia.
Mm-hmm.
So those were nice ways to grind.
Yep, I grinded here. I think from about 56 to 66, and then I was ready to go.
And a pro tip for y'all 7 listeners, aka Alex, if you have HP plus and you start grinding the AP up, you can get it from 10% HP plus to 40. So that's how I had my characters in the high HP range for this final sequence.
Nice. There is a cool little thing where you split the group up and they can find items on their own based on which way you send them. Not much to say there. It's kind of weird because they're like, this could be it. And then they literally group up like 3 minutes later. Okay, we're back. It's kind of like, okay. I mean, I guess throughout the game, it could always be it. But whatever. And that brings us to the final bosses.
Sephiroth Rotha?
Not yet. But Alex, cue that Sephiroth music. Galileo.
Yeah.
Magnifico. Oh, I see a little silhouette of a man.
That's not the right song.
Scaramouche, can they do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening.
Galileo.
Mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, mamma mia, let me go. Magnifico.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the final boss theme. So
I really hope I sync this up right. It's gonna be bad. Okay.
It's the
so
you're talking about the the one-winged angel theme, right?
That
one.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah,
dun.
yeah.
All right, actually, we have 3 bosses. I forgot about this one.
Yeah, and you have like a little sequence where you go down these little floating stones to get to him. I learned here that the enemy skill, I think it was called, when you have enemy skill attached, you can use it to learn the limits of certain characters. So I actually got Pandora's box on Tifa.
Oh. Yeah, on the guides I was reading, they kept talking about Knights of the Round, but I never looked it up. I never had it.
I don't
This
know.
game.
There were a lot of missteps for me up to this point because like
Same.
I didn't have all the limits for my characters. And there were certain things you had to do to get them. I had the 4th limit for Barrett that I got from that train town, and I couldn't unlock it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're going to get yelled at real bad.
Some would say, Teddy, you were pretty limited.
Yeah, I was.
Yes, I did.
I did. You're right. Verified.
Confirmed.
The first boss is a Genova synthesis.
Right.
That's what plants do,
tentacular-
right?
the- she's like the mother brain with the tentacles, except not as badass.
Oh, no, Cheerios.
She's actually really easy.
Okay.
What did you think, Spencer?
Yeah. I had no problem with this one.
Yeah.
A lot of HP, but other than that, no real challenge.
Yeah, I just kept using summons to take out the tentacles and do damage at once.
Some interesting things to note about this, which neither of us, it sounds like, encountered. What you do to this boss changes the bosses after. So if you use Knights of the Round in this fight, it adds 60,000 HP to Bizarro Sephiroth and 80,000 HP to Safer Sephiroth.
I'm very confused because I haven't played in this game. So
Yeah, I expected.
Bizarro Sephiroth and Safer Sephiroth. Bizarro Sephiroth sounds like a DC character.
You will see. You'll see. Time will tell. Time.
Well, now we're gonna tell him how to do it. So
Close your
He'll make-
ears, Alex.
No,
Okay, spoil the game.
it doesn't. I know that you kill Sephiroth.
It's not the same.
You fight Sephiroth.
We are gonna spoil Alex's virgin use.
No, you're not.
Okay. So I didn't use Knights of the Round. I didn't have Knights of the Round.
I love
so
that
I didn't
game.
add HP to. But
so I guess ours was even easier.
yeah, right. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I was having trouble up to this point. I tried to rush it, but I
So-
realized I had to grind. Go ahead.
So in this game, if you're cool enough to have nabbed those things, you're actually punished for it.
Awful.
It's an interesting mechanic. I've heard of that.
That
before.
is fucking weird, man. Like, oh, you went on your way to get this shit? Fuck you.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some
Fuck your
benefit
shit
that
up.
we're not knowing or something. I don't know.
Well, I have all the requirement, the stuff here.
Yeah.
Because, so we'll talk about the next one. Is a multi-party battle. The party splits up.
This is why you need
But-
Sid.
If Genova Synthesis had 13 or more turns before the countdown began, you will only get one party.
Wow.
Also, otherwise you'll only get one party. If the lowest level character in your party is 34 or lower, not including Eris,
She's dead.
or if the average level of your characters is 53 or less.
What a pain. How do you even do this next boss battle with one party?
I don't know.
'Cause
It'd probably be easier.
You need it. Yeah, it probably would. You need both parties to take him on.
The way it's designed, yeah, I assume they just get rid of those requirements and it's just pretty much a spank it in order of items or whatever.
Please don't use Spank It.
Spank that ass.
Spank that ass, boy.
All right. If none of the conditions above are met, you may get two parties if any of the following have been met. If you do not pick up one of the optional characters, which is us.
Yeah, me.
If the lowest level character in your party is 44 or lower. If the average level of your characters is 67 or lower. If none of the above conditions were met, and all of the following conditions were met, you will receive 3 parties. If you picked up both optional characters, if Genova Synthesis had 12 or less turns before beginning the countdown, if the lowest level character you have is level 45 or higher, not including Eris, if the average level of your characters is 68 or higher. What a bizarre way to end this game.
This sounds like the Monopoly directions.
Yeah.
And if you pass go, you collect $200.
Do not collect puddles.
And when you put houses on a map, the value of the property increases.
How interesting is this? Get this. The only party that will proceed through to the next boss battle against Safer Sephiroth will be the one that defeats Bizarro Sephiroth.
Wow.
Dodged a bullet on that one.
Yeah.
Because I had Sid on the other side and he was hacking that guy to death.
It's a
Yeah.
competition, right?
What's that?
So you're saying it's a competition?
A competition that you do not want the wrong people to win.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did not know that, and I wish that I did. I would have been a little more careful. So basically what this boss fight is you end up on 2 different rocks with 2 different parties. One is your main party and one is the refuse.
He's this giant Zeus-looking figure. It's like, this is Sephiroth? He's like Poseidon with a blast core in his crotch area.
Yeah, and you got to take out different parts of his body, and then eventually the core, which heals the main body, and then the main body. And the way Teddy and I did it, and I know why you asked, because I was absolutely confused at this part. You have to switch to the other side to take out the core, and then go back to your side and take out the core, and then work it, which makes absolutely no sense, but that's what it is. Okay. So, real weird fight. Not that hard once you know that part of it. He actually doesn't even hit that hard.
No, he doesn't.
So, you got anything on this one? Or are we going?
I think just the big thing was like use the summons. Some parts will get health back if you use the wrong skill, but it's not that bad. It was like I think like ice or something, so I just didn't use ice that much. But
Who was it?
It was a nice time to just spam like summons and such. So limits.
All right, this is what the whole game was leading up to. It's got the music, which is killer.
Yeah.
This is the part that you see online all the time. It's Safer Sephiroth, aka the One-Winged Angel.
Yeah, this was crazy. First thing is first, you see him and he's like a god with demon wing. This reminded me of when I played like Shin Megami Tensei.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
100%.
Wow, I thought this was such a standout sequence because first I thought I beat the game and then you fight Sephiroth. I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be a hard battle, right? And so, he'll strike you for a ton of damage, like 6,000 or so, on any individual party member. He also has he has Toad.
Yeah.
And not Slippy Toad. He has Toad ability where you can turn any of your party members into a frog.
And I'm Toad.
And I'm Toad. And Sephiroth just turned all of us into Toad.
Oh my god, is Sephiroth really Toad this whole time?
Sephiroth is Princess Peach because he has the Toad.
Could you imagine that like famous cutscene with the flames and the wing and stuff, but with Toad?
Somebody needs to get on that.
Toad,
make sure you have
are you?
a side equipment that prevents Toad or Frog. It's called Frog.
I didn't.
Yeah, I had to go back and buy remedies too. Remedies prevent that.
Spencer, you seem pretty proud of yourself.
No, that was a horrible mistake to not have any of that. And I read ahead too. So I kind of knew. And I was like, nah, I'll be all right. And I technically was all right, but that fight took forever.
So you think you're safe from Frog, but are you safe from Sephiroth's spatial ability? This was nonsense. I was like, when I saw this, I was like, this is so Final Fantasy. And I don't even like play Final Fantasy that much, but I was like, I get it. I get why this is the game that people probably got to this point where like, what the fuck? So Spencer, can you do a dramatic renditioning of what Sephiroth does in the safer quote unquote Sephiroth battle?
He goes like this, and a big meteor shooting out, and it passes through
Pluto.
Boom!
There goes Pluto.
Pluto explodes, which is weird because it also reforms right after because it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
And then it goes to Neptune?
Yeah, it goes
through the solar system.
Right.
It goes through the asteroid belt, slams into the sun. The sun explodes, and it destroys Mercury, Venus, Mars, and then your face.
It comes into Earth. You see it orbiting Earth, and it's slowly approaching and like about to hit your party. And then your whole party takes like huge damage.
Dude, how's that for a way better plot twist than that stupid Cloud one where he's like, he forgot that he wasn't actually a soldier? This is on Earth!
Spencer's so proud of himself right now. You see
And
his face.
Earth is apparently the last planet in the solar system.
Yeah.
I'm glad I haven't seen this because you guys describing it, I think, is going to be way better than actually seeing the cutscene.
No, it's actually pretty cool.
The first time
it's-
I saw it, I was like, that's amazing.
You guys describing this really sounds like I know you guys haven't. Well, I don't know, Spencer. You maybe played it. The end of the first Bayonetta game. You throw what the final boss, who's basically a god, into the sun. Like that's the final boss. Is you throw him is like it's this QTE where you throw him into the sun and you like fly him through space and throw him into the sun. And I'm like this is that level of like stupid.
This is a level of stupid because, like Spencer said, it keeps happening. He keeps going, he keeps rising, and then does the same ability where he destroys every planet in the solar system. But you know what? It goes by that logic. It's Final Fantasy. Sometimes you just need to suspend your disbelief. And for this one, it just sucked having to watch the same sequence over and over again. At some point, I was just like, I'm just gonna put XXX speed on.
Same. Yep.
So, but it was a really cinematic battle, and I loved it.
Yeah, I mean the music was there. The he attacked in a pattern, so it'd be like one after the other consistently, so it wasn't any variation. So it was simple enough once you figured it out. It's just keep healed. Mega elixirs were awesome for this. I used probably all of them at this point. Not that it mattered because obviously it's the final boss. Yeah, I mean I guess technically it's not the final boss. If you want to count the next part. But it really is the final boss.
This is the final boss. The next part doesn't count.
Okay. Then that was the final boss.
Yeah. But Spencer, let's just go into what happens after you take down the quote-unquote safer Sephiroth.
Cutscenes happen. You're flying around. You're just Cloud now. All your party's gone. And it's you and Sephiroth.
He's like,
Sephiroth
wait,
has a
he's
shirt
still
off. He'd
here.
like this.
I can sense him.
Yeah.
And then
Alex, you'd be into this.
you get pulled into his live stream. or
Shirts
something,
off. Is that what?
Yeah. You would notice it.
Yeah. Wow, your abs are amazing.
I really like what you did to your pecs. Can you teach me your ways?
Dude, you guys are making it weird.
You made it weird by saying that.
Wow, just because a man can't compliment another man on his pecs. Wow, that's how very primitive of you, Spencer.
Alex, I like your bangs.
Thanks, man. See, there's nothing wrong with it.
I like your bangs too, Alex.
Okay, now you're making it weird.
Yeah, now you're making it weird. Spencer.
Okay, anyways. Cloud versus Sephiroth. The epic showdown.
And you know Omnislash now.
Apparently. I was worried about this point because I was like, oh no. If I die, I'm going to have to do all this shit again.
Yeah.
But Cloud learns Omnislash, and Omnislash is just a multi-slash technique, which would have been great to have the whole game, but
Apparently it's one you can get.
Yeah.
We just never got
It's
it.
also his
So we're
final smash.
subs.
it's actually
final
his
slash.
final limit. His final slash.
His final slash and Slash Bros.
And that leaves you with the final cutscene, which is, basically just the world fixing itself.
Yeah, the live stream. Everyone's watching. The meteor's crashing. It's very Majora's Mask-esque.
Yeah.
But then, guess who comes back to save the day? It's implied anyway. Well, first off, you see the live stream floating around the whole planet, and then it like forms a barrier, and then meteor. I don't remember what happens. It explodes or something, but
Yeah. You got it. And there's Eris. It was up to her. She was the hero the whole time.
Yep. It closes to the last scene is like, you see Cloud, and then it cuts to Eris with her eyes closed, and then she opens her eyes, and then it's credits rolled. Very like.
What'll happen next?
You actually get, if you go through the whole credits, there's like a little cutscene of 500 years later.
Oh, cool.
And it's like the, I could spoil it, I guess. You can close your ears if you want. The Red 13 clan is like, crossing the earth as like the supposed guardians. I forget what happens exactly, but the tigers have been unleashed.
Pretty, expected ending, especially for Final Fantasy. They don't really put twists at the end of the game. It's more of a happy ever after. Pretty par for the course there.
So, what do you think of the end of the game?
Then they were like, let's do an animated movie that follows up after 7.
All right, Alex can't tell us what he thought of the end of the game. He'll have to experience it for himself. But I hope you're excited too. Spencer, Final Fantasy VII.
Wait, hold on. I can't talk about Final Fantasy 7?
No,
not the end of the game.
Am I being barred from this map out?
You're being barred from talking about the end of the game that you didn't experience. Yes.
Yet.
You'll be back in the comments.
Alex, Alex, what are your thoughts on the end of Final Fantasy VII?
Listen, in the future, I will have. Well, see, here's the thing about this in time is that by the time this video goes up, it will have been like this will be the past.
Okay, the first comment, we're reserving it for Alex. We're going to be waiting.
So,
so Alex, what did you think of our telling of the Final Fantasy VII?
It sounded epic. I'm only a little ways away from this part of the game, so I'm excited to finish the game.
Okay, good.
10 hours later.
2 months later. Yep, I'm still at the end of the game. I'm still in Midgard. No, just make it funny. Spencer.
Yeah, it was expected. It was nice to see the cutscenes. Tifa looks real good in these cutscenes. I gotta say that. So that's something to look forward to, Alex.
Tifa always looks good. I mean, what?
Oh, she looks real good here.
It was nice to see Barrett too in like FMV form. I don't know if we saw that up to that point. I was like, it's my
a little
boy.
bit, but yeah.
It was cool to see the whole party together. It was almost a little emotional for me, mostly because it was my first Final Fantasy. So like I was just proud of that. I was like, I can't believe I'm finishing my first Final Fantasy. But I guess I grew attachment to these characters minus Kate Sith up to this point in the game.
Kate Sith redeemed himself a little bit.
I don't know that I ever got super attached to any of the characters.
Did-
I guess Cloud, because Cloud's, pretty legendary character. Maybe Tifa, just because she's there the whole time. Maybe Barrett, I guess, but definitely not the other ones.
I did.
I think Cloud innately, like, you just get attached to him because he's the main party leader for the whole game. And, you don't, like, even though you can have and you use other party characters, except for that one sequence where it's, like, just Barrett and Tifa and Kate Sith for, like, 5 minutes of the game, you are Cloud in the game. So it's not like you really internalize, like, the other characters.
Well, I think...
I like their sub-stories, but...
I think what helped me connect to the other characters was the fact that Cloud's backstory and everything isn't really... they mention it in Calm, but it's not really explored upon until Disc 2. So you really spend the first half of the game exploring the other characters.
I think that's almost what makes it better, too, like the Disc 1.
Yeah.
And more interesting, anyway.
Yeah, Disc 1, in a way, kind of feels like watching, like, you know, when you're like watching like a, I don't know, like an anime or something, and like there's other characters with the main character, and like there's those side episodes that like explain those characters' stories. That's what disc 1 feels like. It's like you're going through a bunch of those like different little episodes, and then disc 2 and 3 is like the main arc, you know.
Which made very little sense. Or it made sense, but it was so hard to piece together. It was almost just like taxing at some points. Disc 2, the beginning of Disc 2 felt like a slog. I'll say that much.
I haven't even finished the game, but I want to say that I already plan on playing back through it again, because I want to, because like we should say that playing this was something that we decided to do for the show. And we were going to do, you know, for this map out. And so playing through it, I sort of like had this thought in my head, like, oh, we need to get, you know, I need to, you know, not waste a lot of time. You know, I really need to just keep pushing forward. So I do plan on playing through it again, because I did really enjoy the game, and up to where, you know, up to where I am. And also I want to get the other two characters, because like I know a little more about those two characters now. I did a little research between the two recordings of the map outs, and I think that they're both really interesting characters. I mean, Vincent Valentine could turn into like a fucking chainsaw massacre character like thing, and Yuffie apparently is like some ninja clan or some side quest with her that's like really cool, where she like steals your stuff and takes it to her village and stuff, and you find out why. So I do want to replay it and experience some of the content that I just kind of rushed past for this playthrough.
Yeah, I would like to as well, but I think it'll be a while before I do that, especially with the remake. I'm playing through that right now, actually, so I'm tackling that. I will say I think 9 is a lot better.
Terry doesn't agree with you. He said 9.
Terry said 5 was the best. So I think that shows us what to think of.
Okay, guys, we're clearly missing one crucial Final Fantasy game.
Well, hey, you're missing my opinion, asshole.
13.
How are you going to skip over me when I finish the game?
13.
Alex is skipping over a lot of things,
including his co-host. I don't know. I liked it. I'm like with Alex on this. I actually, and when I got the credits, I was like, you know what? I might like to play this again. But like Spencer, I was not anytime soon. I'm glad. Like I would love to play this again, and you know, especially just like knowing where everything is. So much of my first playthrough was just confusing. It was confusing story. It was confusing where to go. But now that I understand and I can actually see like the puddle graphics, it's more enticing. And I think the side characters too, if I had a good system for understanding how to get them, that would be a cool little side quest, some might say.
Well, and that's exactly the thing too, is that this is such an old game that, like, yeah, playing through it the first time, like you said, is just more figuring it out, you know? So,
yeah, I agree.
You know, this is a game that I think that is built for multiple playthroughs. So.
Wow.
Take us out, Spencer.
We've done it.
Yeah.
That's Final Fantasy VII Disc 2, which actually took us longer than I thought.
And
yeah, I know. We were like...
And 3, yeah.
I know, we were like, this episode won't last 30 minutes. For the...
We actually did Final Fantasy VII 3E.
3E?
Yeah. Wow.
Do you, and I want to ask you guys, because is this your guys' first... well, Teddy, I know your answer, but Spencer, is this your first time playing through the game? Like...
All the way, yeah, for sure.
Do you guys have any interest in the other Final Fantasy VII content that exists?
What do you mean? Oh, like the side stuff?
Yeah, because there's Crisis Core, there's Dirge of Cerberus, and then there's the Advent Children movie.
I love Dino Crisis.
Not what I asked.
I love Blast Core.
Also not what I asked.
No, I'm not. I'm more interested in the mainline games.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him. I've seen Advent Children. I wasn't really impressed. I mean, the graphics and stuff were really cool, but story-wise, I mean, God, I had no idea what was going on. But now knowing what I know now, I still
it makes no
really...
no that movie has some big plot holes that makes absolutely no sense.
But no, I'm not super into the big lore of it. I think there's RPGs that have a lot more to offer.
I think honestly, I mean, and I've played, and it's funny that like I haven't finished the main game of 7 before playing the other side content, but I have played. I played Third Retriever some. I didn't beat it. I did play through Crisis Core, and I have watched the movie. It's funny to me that I did all that before even playing the game, but going back and playing the original game, I can see why this was such a big deal, because it really feels like, and we were kind of saying that towards on like the first episode. It really like I think this really feels like a mature game, like a mature story, a mature RPG. As opposed to like the previous ones, which were more anime-ish, were more simple in a way, with the stories and stuff. I think this really like tried to appeal to an older demographic, and it succeeded.
It's well made too. Like I can't imagine if I was young and like I had talked to other people who played Final Fantasy VII, I would have been like, "Yo, did you get to that final Sephiroth battle sequence? What did you think? How many tries did it take you?" I would have been so excited to go share like that kind of like insights or whatever.
I would be curious to play through 6. I'm more curious now than I was before.
I was
just because.
Sorry, go.
Yeah. From what I played of 6, it seems pretty mature.
Oh no, it is, and that's the one with Kefka and stuff, and it's also mature. But I'm just saying, but that game still had like a fantasy, like castles and all this and like magic like element to that game. But I'm talking like this one was the first one that really tried, like I think feels more like if this were a movie or an anime series, this would be something, and maybe this is just in my brain, but something more like, I don't know, like Cowboy Bebop-ish, like more like meant for an older audience.
Yeah, I guess
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm curious if we didn't do this map out, or if we didn't decide to map out the game when we played it, do you think you guys would have got as far as you did or finished? In our cases, Spencer, you and I.
I think so. I was really determined to finish it, and I was like, and you guys wanting to play it really just kind of coincided. So I think I would have, because I did that with some other games too recently.
Probably.
So.
I own this twice, so I bought it for a reason. the first time. Then I bought it on Switch the second time to do the map out because it was just convenient to play it on the Switch. Mm-hmm. So I think I like to think I would eventually have gotten around to it.
What about you, Teddy?
I think mapping it out was a great motivation because I own it on PS4 and I did get 10 hours in like maybe 2 years ago, but it was just so dated that I didn't want to. I didn't see the reason. I guess maybe having the remake out would be interesting, but I wasn't that interested in the remake. But I was interested in mapping out what's supposedly like a legendary game or one of the classic, games people say is such a masterpiece or whatever. I don't necessarily see that, but I'm glad I got to the motivation to pull through what I thought was kind of a challenging game to pull myself through.
Do you have any interest in playing through the remake now, or playing the remake now?
No, I'm more interested in playing the mainline games. I would be interested in doing a 9 map out, or maybe like one of those early ones. Definitely Dragon Quest. I want to do some Dragon Quest. So,
okay. You,
Spencer, you and I, and Alex, if
you
if you can prove that you finished this one with an essay comment with the Midgar and Sephiroth.
All I gotta do is talk about the ancient city, the Midgar, and then the final boss.
Okay, but you have to max out the comment, kind of like Terry did. He literally went to full comment capacity.
All right. Deal.
Okay.
No,
so 2 comments.
No time cap on when this will be though, because once again, the reason why I didn't, because we started this like a month ago, a little over a month ago.
Maybe longer. I think it was like 2. I think
2 months. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I started playing, and I haven't stopped playing, but I don't have a lot of time to play longer games like this. So this is why I don't play a lot of RPGs, because it's just hard for me to stay focused on them for so long. So the map out did help me in that way, that like I constantly reminded myself that I had to go back to it, that I had to keep playing it. So,
all right. Well, I think that closes the book on this Final Fantasy. What a conclusion to. Will this be the last video for J?
It will not.
RPG month?
We have one more video.
The community discourse.
Sick.
Yeah.
When? Okay.
Yeah,
We'll talk
yeah.
about
Don't
it.
ask on the show. When are we recording that?
Excellent. Well, all right. Well, thanks, guys. Looks like we finally did it. It's been a long journey that two of us finished.
Terry,
so.
Terry,
This was awesome.
did you guys see where Terry refused to write my haiku?
Yes.
It's fucking sad. Really fucking sad. If you would have wrote that haiku, maybe that would have given me the power to finish this game yesterday.
I really would have liked a Final Fantasy VII jingle in the theme of DK64.
We did that.
Yeah, I'm not editing that. Somebody else could do that. Yeah.
If you know the words, you.
I was listening back to that and I was like, oh my fucking god.
I know. I was doing the same thing.
What are we doing?
I was biting my lip because I didn't want to make noise in the apartment. It was during work hours. But.
All right. Well, that's it.
If you want to see us play more Final Fantasy, tell us in the comments. What's your favorite fantasy?
Don't tell us your favorite fantasy. Just tell us that you want us to play Final Fantasy.
Is it Tifa?
Is it your
Just
toes?
tell us that.
Is it someone?
Tell us
Is it
that you wanna
Tifa
play
licking
it.
your toes? Well, join us here today for the Final Fantasy.
Join
VII
us on DeviantArt.
Fantasy. it's for mature audiences. Tifa the toe sucker.
You know, I
Ooh.
actually bought 13 and 13 too, and I might play them.
I have them as well. I have all three of them.
Ooh, you guys are on your own.
I need to get like, oh, dude, would you do a map out of 13 and 13
Absolutely
2
not.
and
No,
Lightning?
I don't even
Not,
have a
absolutely.
console.
no, I'm talking to Spencer. I know you're not gonna do it.
Yeah, you've
I'll
just
do
been
it with
avoiding
you.
me this whole time.
We should do that because I know that game's just rigged with issues.
Yeah, it freaking blows. It ruined my interest in video games for like 3 years.
People are like, I've talked to people about it, and they're like, "No, it's good." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I've always seen the beginning of the game. It looked boring." He's like, "But then people are like, yeah, but it takes like, like
It takes like 40 hours. Man.
yeah, then it gets good." I'm like, you're telling me you have to play that game for that long before it gets good?
It gets real good once those credits roll.
Yeah.
Then you can do whatever you want.
Then you can stop playing.
No,
the best part.
that'd be kind of hilarious to do with.
I was gonna play it with my boy JD.
Oh, okay,
So I was like, if you want to do it, I'll double up. Let's do it.
awesome. I'm excited now. I have a reason to.
One rule though, Alex.
I have to finish it.
You gotta finish.
Well, I bought
You're
13.
really on your own.
I
with that.
also bought 13-2, which insinuates that I'm going to beat 13.
But you didn't buy Lightning Return?
I didn't see it.
It was in there.
No,
I had to look for it. It's not called Final
no,
Fantasy 13.
I bought it. No, I have them on PS3. Like when I bought them, I didn't buy Lightning Returns because I didn't have a copy of it.
I got on Steam just recently.
They were like
I
$5.
got them for like $12.
They were $5 at GameStop.
Yeah, but then you got to get them on a PS3.
And you got to go to GameStop.
Yeah,
You have to
you're gonna play them on PC like a champ.
Had to go to GameStop.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll schedule something.
Tell us.
I'm excited to play this horrible.
Tell us in the
game.
comments if you're excited for the 13 map out.
It's a 13 map out.
Oh, map out.
It's a map out.
All right.
Fatty Magoo.
No, we're not doing this again.
Fatty. He's gonna sit on you.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.